Team meeting.
Yay!
Yeah. We burned a little toast so it smells like home and that homey feel.
It smells burnt.
Come on in.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's what it is. I don't know. That's what it smells like. But yeah, if you haven't seen, we do have Panera back here. Get you some breakfast, a yogurt, a pastry, a bagel, something like that. Whenever you guys feel ready, you can shut the door. And all right, let's get started. Let's start. Yeah, let's do it. As we always do, let's start with something good. It's always good to start good. Let's do that. What do you got?
So for a lot of you guys know I have a heart problem. So it makes it very hard for me to get life insurance. So I've been declined like 6 or 7 times for life insurance. Got a call on my way here. I got approved for life insurance today.
Yeah.
With a stay-at-home wife and 2 young kids.
Yeah.
And Lonnie said that he wasn't going to pay for anything if I die. It just worked.
Yeah, I said, yep.
So it's a big weight off my shoulders. So
That is wonderful.
That's a big
That's
deal.
really good. That is wonderful news. Yeah, just don't use it. Let's just not use it. Let's not do that. What else do we have? What's going good in your world?
Come on, guys. It's August, summer. We're having fun. Royals are playing well.
I'm gonna wait. We're gonna come up with something good because there's something. Investment property under contract.
One with 2 properties on it or whatever. Oh, wow. Good. That's a
Good. That is a good thing. What else we got going good?
That's fantastic.
Balls are still upright so far.
Yeah.
The balls down.
Walker's looking good.
It's August. This is back to school month.
Yay.
Is that good? Yay. Yay. Yes, Alex.
You know, the deal that I told you guys a couple of weeks ago, that the agent didn't want to do anything, so they fixed whatever they needed to fix. They end up lowering the price of the house.
Really?
My client could have paid that if he could get his stuff fixed. So they say no, and we look for another house, was more expensive, like $30,000 more than this one. And we're ready in the contract.
Good.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
Extra, I called her. And everything.
Oh, that happens, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What else we got? Yes, Stacy.
Annette, but John is doing remarkably well for having brain injury. It's like,
Okay.
he was at the gym the other morning. Yeah, he was like. Unbelievable. Yeah, so that's a very good praise. And,
Wow.
Yeah, very excited about.
Wonderful.
It's gonna help him.
Very good.
Very good.
That's good. I'm glad. Medical science is amazing.
Mm.
Amazing. All right. Anybody else got anything good? Yes, Steve.
My belt listing went under contract last week, should be hearing back from the inspections hopefully today. And then the buyer I also got from Board Duty, we should be putting in an offer today, so that's 2 contracts for.
Board duty.
I
we're
can see
not-
why you guys don't want to do board duty.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are we thinking?
So those weren't on your bingo card at the beginning of the year. They weren't in your pipeline. They just showed up. So because you showed up. So good job. Good job. All right. Last call. Anything good? Bummer. We got to go find some good stuff, guys. Let's go find some. Get some for next week.
I'll share one. 2 years ago, a good friend of mine introduced me to a couple live in Old Leawood, and we became friends real quick, and they had me sell their house. And they had like $1 million house, right? A nice place. That turned into a buy. I sold them a house in Loch Lloyd. I then just recently sold their house in Lake Lotawana. So 3 high-end transactions off one person at the top of my triangle. So all that's good, right? The better part is the guy that I did all this business with, Matt Jennings, his dad, by the way, hired a guy named Bill Self to be the coach at KU. So when I'm with him in Lawrence, we can't pay for a drink. It's fantastic. But anyway, he calls me 2 weeks ago and he goes, "Hey, what are you doing?" And whatever last week was. And I said, "Well, I'm working as usual, but what do you got?" And he goes, "Would you be able to go to Colorado Springs with us?" His company is called All Pro Capital. They do private equity stuff and senior housing and all kinds of stuff that I find kind of interesting. And he knew I find that interesting. I said, "Dude, tell me about it." And he goes, "Well, you'll get on a private plane in Lawrence, Kansas with 8 other guys, fly privately to Colorado Springs. You won't touch your bags. We got people to do all that. You'll golf for 2 days. Everything's paid for." And I'm like, "Well, that sounds fun." So If you don't get to travel in that manner. I can see why wealthy people enjoy that sort of thing.
Yeah.
You're spoiled. You pull your car up on the flight line and you get in your plane. It's pretty cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah, once in a lifetime. Yeah. for
It's
sure.
about like Tribe of Millionaire stuff.
It
Yeah,
does,
yeah.
It does, yes.
So now we're looking for the Southland private plane, right?
Okay,
That'll be Southwest.
Yeah.
true.
Free drink coupons.
As long as it has the office number on it, like the office phone
Yeah.
number, right?
But you
Is that
never
right?
know. That is part of your plan. Well, you never know where these relationships are going to take you, especially if
Sure.
you cultivate them and where this might go. And then, of course, I'm in this group of 8 guys, and they're in bigger businesses, CEOs, all this kind of stuff. But getting to know them, and 2 or 3 of them, we really clicked well. And I have no doubt one of them's invited me already to Kansas City Country Club to golf. I'll probably do business with a couple of those guys. So one referral from the top of my triangle has created all of this. I'm anxious to see where it goes.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And you played
Very
really
cool.
well last week in golf.
Played really well. Yeah. Yeah.
That'll-
Took a lot of their money.
Ah. All right. Well, that's very good. All right. Let's go find some more good stuff this week to report back next week. Let's do that. All right. Let's hear from our vendors. Let's do that. Let's start with Lisa. Lisa Hutchings.
Lisa,
Oh.
thanks for the food.
All right, Lisa, I got a new microphone. You kind of just got to hold it between your fingers. It's little. There you go.
Like a little spy thing.
I know, it is.
Just a couple of things. Reminder on commissions. I talked to Caesar a little bit about this. It is easier for him and me for you to go ahead and get your commission statement sent in early, even after you write your contract and submit it. He said it's easier for him to update a commission statement if need be than to rush it on the day before closing to get us in a position to sign. We're currently working on one that we have to get in to be able to close. So, and then also the commissions do not automatically change with sales price. The contracts from 3 years ago now, maybe, set out the maximum the seller is going to pay is X amount. Just because the sales price changes doesn't mean that that automatically changes with it. You have to write that within your amendment. Sellers or buyers, even if they're legally separated, they are still married. So they still have marital interests. We have marital interests to deal with. So just keep that in mind. Yes, sir.
You said it doesn't change. That's just on the buyer side, right? The commission?
Correct.
Okay, just clarify.
Correct. Yeah. I don't know about your listing agreement thing. That part is Randy question. Trust, when a seller is in a trust, please talk with them about having accounts set up in the trust so that we are able to wire, or even when we give them a check, they're able to deposit their funds. We've just had a few recently where the seller's in signing their seller's documents. They don't have an account set up with the trust. They need to get their money for another thing. It takes their bank a couple days to do a review of their trust, to open an account. It's just kind of those little things you just keep in mind. So those are my little tidbits. Yes, ma'am.
As it relates to marital status, when you ask, are you married? And they say no, the question should be, are you married to each other?
Yeah.
Or anyone.
Or anyone else. We have had to modify that in
Mhm.
recent transactions because they said they weren't married.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't say that they were still married to somebody else.
Yeah.
So when you ask if they're married, ask if they're married to each other or someone else.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
that seems kind of bumpy, just make fun. Say, hey,
No, it was.
yeah, I'm going to say, ask that question and go, hey, I got a weird question for you. Are you guys married to anyone? And they'll go, what are you talking about? And just tell them a story. Go, hey, we've had situations where people, they look like they're married. They weren't. They're like, no, we're not married, but we each have spouses somewhere else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They'll laugh.
Be specific.
Have fun with it.
question.
Yeah,
be
and you
specific.
could blame it on me. You could say,
Blame it on
oh,
Lisa.
my title agent requires me to ask this question. And then you could go from there. So,
Like
yeah.
that.
Yes, you can blame me for everything. It helps me in the end. So blame me.
Title makes us do this.
Title makes us do it. I like that though.
Awesome. Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you. All right.
Lisa, give it up for, hey, we need more energy in this room. Please come.
Yep.
By the way, who's worked with sellers that have property in a trust? Have a bunch of you guys? Okay. Sometimes we forget to talk about, hey, can we get a copy of the trust? And ask that question about, do you have a trust account set up? If you wait till the day of closing or even the day before closing, it is a hot mess. And that's on you, not them. You should have asked the question. It's on you. You knew it was in a trust all along. And by the way, when you at the last second tell them, oh, you're going to need to go hustle and set up a trust account so we can pay into the trust account, they'll know that you could have told them that weeks and weeks ahead of time. You get that? I made that mistake, and I can see the look on their face like, why didn't you just tell me a week ago? I could have, we would have been rushing around. So we've all made that mistake. Don't make the mistake. Trust, make yourself a note, put it on your calendar. We've got to get a copy of the trust, and let's verify that they have a trust account set up.
Okay.
Really important. Best practice.
All right. All right. Let's hear from Todd Branson with Fairway Mortgage. All right. You got to hold it between your fingers. I know. It's more.
What happened to our buddy with all the hair?
It fell off.
Speaking of trust, real quick, 10 years ago, 8 years ago, probably we couldn't close a loan in a trust. Like it had to be in the fee simple the person. And now we actually can close it in their trust, but we do have to have all the trust documents, everything up front, get it all approved, they're legal and all that stuff. But for the most part, they're working out because people that do a trust are using attorneys and they do it correctly. So
the days of closing it in their personal name and having to deed it in that we don't really have to do that.
$100 to move it back over.
Yeah.
Now you don't have to worry about it. So
Good to know.
yeah,
Not know.
yeah. So it doesn't come up all that often, but you know, you and I will see it more.
Mhm.
All right, real quick, I want to talk about relationships. Quick story, okay? Not that kind of relationship. Okay. So about 15 years ago, I did a loan for a family in Stonegate here in Raymond. And I keep in touch with them. I send them out my touches and the systems that we use. And they bought in Stonegate. I refinanced it. I think I refinanced it again. So I get a call about 2 months ago from a guy, and I'm looking at him like, that's a client of mine. I recognize their name. And so he calls me and he's like, hey, looking at maybe purchasing a home in Blue Springs. So I'm like, hey, you still in Stonegate? No, I don't know this, but things have happened to him. Fell on some hard times, bankruptcy, foreclosure, divorce, a lot of things that happened in 10 years. I haven't seen him. So we catch up, sad situation, but we're talking about doing a home loan for the guy. Immediately as a loan officer, I'm like, okay, I start asking some of the financial things because that's important. Anyway, so we come to a realization. I'm like, I can do your loan. Well, problem. He's got an agent in Blue Springs. He's buying in Blue Springs. Well, she's got a relationship with her loan officer, right? And so I respect that. And he wants to use me. She, of course, wants to use her loan officer. Makes sense, right? Her relationship with her LO. So I had a good conversation with her. I've been doing this a minute. And so I kind of calmed her concerns and fears that we actually knew what we were doing. And that, I've done 500, 600, 700 VA loans. I promise you I can handle it. So he applied online and all that. But during the process of the purchase, I just kept bugging her and sending her emails and text messages and updates. I'm sure I got on her nerves. Somewhere in that, before the closing, I friend requested her on Facebook. So we are now buddies. We're besties, okay? And so I text her, she texts me. Anyway, so it's about relationships. And so one thing I wanted to remind her of is I'm not stepping in to take over your relationship with your loan officer. You've developed that over years. That's great. But understand, your loan officer works for a small little bank. She's extremely limited on what she can offer her clients. And if you get to a situation where she can't do that, I want you to have a friend at Fairway. And that's kind of how I approached it. And it worked out great. We now have had several conversations about loan programs that she just can't do. And if I can be of an assistance to her client, that's just huge, right? She's not going to, and I'm not trying to step in on her LO, but it's important that we have relationships in our industry. I hear Lonnie say it, for a decade or more, who you're in business with matters, right? You guys know that. But we're now buddies, and she's now called me with 2 or 3 questions about loan programs and stuff. And, if she ends up offering, me an opportunity to do a loan for her, that'd be fantastic. But understand that it's that relationship. And I respect your guys' relationships with your LOs if you have them that are not me. But if there's something that you can't do with that LO, if something their bank can't do, and we can, ask me. I'm happy to look at it, see if there's maybe another angle to do. The home light program is one that's big. Very few people do it. We do, right? So, and I told you, I got 3 transactions last month out of this office just using it. So anyway, I respect your guys' relationships, but I'm right next door should you need me. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Todd.
All right. Good deal. Good deal. All right. I see the Apex ladies here. So Apex, come on up.
Yeah.
Tim, we got your spot open. It's right here. We saved it for you.
I was trying to be an Apex lady.
You'd fit in.
Pretty.
Yeah, I was like, you are awfully pretty. Let's talk about sewer scopes. Some company have,
Learning too.
Okay. Some companies have multiple sizes in camera, 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch diameter. Not all can fit in all pipes, right? So when a company comes to, and Ryan knows this, had it happen again yesterday. It's okay. We're 3 for 3 now. There was no clean out to access, in the stack in the basement, no clean out. So that needs to be fixed anyways. Pulled the toilet, go into there. It's a hard 90. Our camera's not going to fit through it. I had an agent out of KW Overland Park that was highly dissatisfied with Jay's service yesterday. He wasn't bringing enough solutions. So you can only get through those pipes with what we're working with. We only have a 3 inch camera diameter line so that we can get in 3 inch pipes. And there's hydrophysics. I mean, there's other people out there that you guys can call upon that probably will be really good for that. But in emergencies, we like to come in and help you at last minute. But just keep that in mind whenever you're hiring somebody that, depending, especially if it's an older house, there's going to be probably a lot more turns, a lot more 90s and things, a lot of maybe some old DIY, not up to code plumbing and things like that to be thinking about. So I just wanted, and then we talked about last week about low pressure sewers that are becoming a little bit more of a hot topic these days. Does anybody have any questions or anything based on last week's conversation?
Oh, not about
Or-
last week. I just was curious, the agent wasn't satisfied with Jay not having enough solutions. Was he aware of the fact that there was no clean out?
No.
Okay. Well,
No.
As agents, sometimes we can head that off.
Yeah. And we did have that discussion, and she's a brand new agent.
Yeah.
So I gave her some grace. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you guys for your business.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rusty.
All right. I see Braden Watterson. No, Braden, hold on. It's not Watterson. It's Braden Bass. There we go.
All right,
Braden.
Put slash Watterson into.
Hi guys. I have 2 things. Just it's really warm outside, so inspection times we've been pushing in the mornings or late in the evenings, just so we don't damage roofs and so our guys are safe. The other thing too, what I've been seeing is it's been really easy on the transaction side between agent to agent. Whenever we've had inspections, there's no damage. We're not looking for a bunch of roofs with damage, but giving that peace of mind to both agents and being able to satisfy the sellers and the buyers side of things whenever they're going to get insurance with the peace of mind, photo report, everything that they can take to their agent to help write their business. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, let us know.
Very good. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you. This is Buffy's son, and he just got engaged. So
All right.
congratulations, Braden. Thank you for being here today. All right. Do I see any other vendors? Anybody else sneak in on me? Okay. I don't think so. All right. Let's see what we got here. Tomorrow. This is tomorrow, guys. We're doing our end of summer bash. It says end of summer. I'm not buying the end of summer yet. I'm not ready to give it up, but I don't mind coming to hang out and have a little party back here in the back. Laura, yes. Whoever wants to speak about that, come on up. Yes. I understand this.
She passed the mic, didn't she?
Hi, I'm back. So tomorrow, a few of us are going to get here set up a little bit early. I'm going to cook if nobody wants to come cook. Nobody wants to volunteer. Good news, I can cook. So
Oh, good.
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Burgers and hot dogs.
Perfect.
Is
Perfect.
that good
summer.
for you? I mean, I prefer like lobster and shrimp, but I don't think it was in the budget. It's fine. So come bring your +1, bring your chairs. That's probably really important.
Cheers.
Very important.
The lawn back here.
Yeah. If you need an umbrella, bring one of those. Yes, Laura.
RSVP see now.
Yeah, if you haven't, please, just so we know how much, because we're literally leaving from here to go to Sam's to get everything else that needs to be bought.
Are
So-
children welcome?
No,
Okay.
sorry, I'm just kidding. You can tell I'm way out of the kid age, but go ahead.
The games.
Oh yeah, Jake's gonna be our game
Are
leader.
you the game master? Oh, he's the best.
I forget, are we doing adult beverages?
Yes.
Okay.
I have blue drinks.
Oh,
Oh.
you making a special?
Just for yourself.
I will have a 2-gallon container of blue drinks.
Just for herself, with a really big straw.
Yeah.
Anyways, I hope everybody comes. Laura, I know you have more. Go ahead. Vodka. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. I hope everyone joins. Please remember to RSVP today.
All right. Thanks, Rusty.
Thank you.
2 gallons of blue drinks, adult only party at South End. What could go wrong?
Like a lot, but it's really.
And don't worry, you guys won't have to like shake your booties on us when I need the game.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. No booty shaking, said Jake. Oreo on your face.
Different games, it's fun. Fine.
All right. All right. Well, come. We had a lot of fun at the tacos and tequila we did. Come tomorrow. Bring your +1, bring your lawn chairs, and come hang out back here in the back. All right. Also, let's finish strong our supply drive for the local school districts. This is wrapping up this week. So if you want to bring now's your chance. If you want to go to Walmart, by the way, boxes of crayons are like 25 cents a piece. All the school supplies are on super special right now. So go get some just for $20. You can have a couple bags full of stuff. So go get some school supplies, some hygiene items, bring them up here. We will be delivering those to the school district this week, Belton and Raypeck. The garden club out at Loch Lloyd is bringing in like 100 backpacks stuffed with stuff. So this is they've partnered with us to make this a part of their community project for the month. Oh, I hear voices.
Hello?
Somebody's not muted. I don't know who that was. Well, hello. So that is coming up this week. That ends this week. So please, let's finish strong there. All right. Lunch and learn next Tuesday, 1 week from today. CYA info with Darren. Cover your audit. We are being audited by the state of Missouri, and we want to make sure that you are aware of how to pass through there with flying colors. Sound good, Darren? Let's do that.
Sounds like fun.
That sounds like fun. I couldn't think of anything else we'd rather be doing right now, but please RSVP. We've already got like 20 people RSVP'd, so I'm that's encouraging. We still are a week away, and that means y'all are interested in covering your audit, and I appreciate that. So please sign up. We'll fill this room with as many people as we want. Lunch is being provided by Rodney Bennett with all hours heating and cooling. Okay, I'm not sure what it is, but it'll be good. All right, I told you that we were done offering CE classes, and then I decided to offer another one. So I know. It's a surprise. It's a bonus class. So if you still need CE credits, this is an elective credit coming up on Friday, August 21st. Now, it is for our agents. Please, if you still need credits, please sign that or fill that out or go there, sign up, come to class. But also, this one has a little bit different slant. I'm opening this up to any agent from any brokerage. And so we're all in this together. We all have to renew together. Why not be a hub and a place where people can see, wow, Southland's got their stuff together. Not only are their agents taken care of, but they're opening the doors to EXP and Platinum and any REMAX. We had some REMAX agents here. We had real agents here. We had other people that they're not doing this in their office if they even have an office. So anyway, just know that that's open. Feel free to spread the word. We'd like to be that resource here in Cass County.
Never hurts to get to know some of these other people too, face to face.
Yep.
You come across them in a business transaction and you've met them before.
Mhm.
That can help smooth things over in bumpy times.
So feel free to, have that great conversation like, hey, how's your renewal going? You got all your CE credits? Nope. Well, hey, you can come, that's free. Just come on. And usually Crown, they feed you. So that's just bonus. So anyway, know that that's coming up. We do have this coming up next Monday with the Fifes, and I think they're out of town this week. But they just kind of when Paul added well, Josh has been with them for a minute, but when he added Ashley, they did a rebrand and they hired a company to help them with that. And so they are the ones that have recently gone through a whole branding process. And so they're going to be teaching us on things to think about on growing your personal brand. You know, everything from how your logo to your colors to your how you show up and how you make your stuff look consistent, that kind of thing. What is your brand? And if you're not sure that you have one or what that should be, just come and get some information and learn from the Fifes. And they kind of geek out on this stuff.
The people that master this and branding right now is massive. And if you say, well, I really don't have any branding. Yeah, you do. It's just not worth a poo. So you got it. It just stinks. So, but we need to get better at this. With social media dominating things, we've got to have a presence out there. The people that can figure this out at a higher level have a huge advantage. Most of the things we're talking about cost little or nothing to do. There's the company called Hobbs Herder. We've talked about them before. They went into a subdivision, let's just say a Creekmore, and they created a branding around an agent, and let's call her Jenny. And Jenny. And then after 1 year, they sampled the subdivision. Who would you hire? Jenny was the number one choice. Jenny's not even a person. They made her up. So branding matters. It's time on task over time, but let the public know what you're all about. Otherwise, they'll formulate their own opinion. Many of these agents that you see out there pushing their name out, and you look, and we could name a lot of them, but I won't, but they're not with our company, but man, they must be just crushing it. We get to see their numbers. They're not crushing it necessarily. They're just really good at putting out there that they are the busiest agent in town. So good for them. I tip my cap to them when I see that kind of stuff. It's pretty cool.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. That's coming up Monday at 10 o'clock. We do have a career night coming up. This is a Thursday, August 27th. This flyer has already been posted and shared on our social media, but I will keep pushing it out. Please spread the word, get people here, invite them, come with them. You don't have to know anything about how to get a license. Now, this is for pre-licensed people that want to get into real estate, but it's also for other agents who are in other offices or other brokerages that might be looking to make a move and want to know more about us. This is a great informational night. Send them to us. I think we had seven people at seven like new people, not agents, but 7 people at our last one. So it was really successful. Lacey was there, and now she's with us. And so was Lisa. Lisa came to a career night, and so there's been a few people that have joined us from this. So anyway, spread the word. All right, buyers listings and open houses. What do we got as far as listings coming on the market? What do we got?
Let's go, guys. This is an important part of the meeting. What do you got coming? What needs do you have?
3-bed, 1-bath in Butler for $225. 1-car garage is attached, 2-car detached.
Okay.
Corner lot.
Butler. Okay. Good deal. Stephanie.
One coming in Independence. Would love to work with someone on this one. Is military. He got relocated after a year. So he has thankfully done a lot of updates. Bathrooms, both bathrooms have been updated, and he finished the basement. So he did do a lot of updates, but that one's coming around at 310.
310 and Independence. Okay. Rusty.
That Lisa property I mentioned last week, 32 Ranch, downtown Lee Summit, corner lot, 330, going live next week on the 11th. We can ship them the 10th to the 11th.
Okay. Very good. Okay. Okay.
I'm waiting on signatures, but we have a 3-bed, 1-bath in Adrian, completely remodeled. It'll be at 240, I think. Yeah, 240. I mean, down to the studs, complete remodel, gorgeous house.
Nice. Darren.
503 Mill Court, Belton's right across the street from Yoakum. Same owner for a long time, so the inside kind of looks like 20 years ago. 269, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's got an added on sunroom, plus a really long extra driveway. They had an RV. 269.
Okay. Tom.
3-1 in Belton. Total, well, I hate using the word totally remodeled because that means different things, but new paint inside and out, brand new roof, newer HVAC system, brand new deck, brand new patio door. The previous owner did some tasteful updates about 10 years ago with the kitchen and bathroom, so that all looks good. It's a really nice little place for somebody. And 245.
245.
Not in the pre-MLS yet, so if anybody wants to sneak a peek, let me know.
Oh, Tony.
Felton, 4-3, 2-car garage. It's part of the Home Life program. It's been through a full inspection. They didn't call out anything what they want fixed. You could walk to the high school from this place. 517 West for 300.
Okay. Very good. Yes, Josh.
Got a 3.5 on Pryor and Lee Summit, 3 acres, 40 by 60 shop. 74% of the house is brand new, is what I'm saying. Or half the walls on, for the trusses on 2/3 of the house. It looks like a shiny new home, but most of it is. Or 825, had some good attention, went live Friday, had some good attention over the weekend, but no offers yet, so. 3.14.
Okay. Lonnie, what you got?
I still have a high net worth buyer looking for a big chunk of land. Can be 10 acres up to, doesn't matter, as long as there's a parcel they can carve out to build a really, really high end home. But they want some land that's special. They're not looking, I mean, they've got to be able, they're going to invest a ton of money on the house and they'll just sell off the other parcels or something like that. So if you know of anything that's one of a kind in our county, has to be Cass County, let me know. Off market, on market, doesn't matter. But we've looked at everything that's out there. It's just not quite, it's not quite ringing. And can I add something else to that real quick? When you guys, and I don't know if this is the right time, but when you guys are giving feedback to people on listings, like we had a showing on a really nice house we have, and the agent said, hey, great house, but just not updated enough. And I was just like, wow, it's got a new roof, new windows. Okay, roof and windows kind of expensive. HVAC kind of expensive. It's got new that too. What it doesn't have, and new carpeting. What it didn't have is new appliances nor granite tops. But for them to say that, it's like we've got probably 40,000 in updates. We just don't have this shiny object, the $5,000 worth of updates. Kind of think about your feedback because it looked kind of stupid. My seller's like, what are they talking about? Yes, there's a couple things that aren't updated, but the things that cost real money are all brand new. So guys, your feedback it's a way to kind of let people know if you actually know what the hell you're talking about. So think through that. Give feedback, but take the time to do it thoroughly and be careful what you say.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise you look like a moron. Wasn't one of our agents, I might add.
Very good. Very good.
Good.
Yes, Trisha.
It's not my listing, but my clients are contingent based on this one selling. So it is on Martha Road in Peculiar, just over 2 acres. It's a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, raised ranch. It does have a few little outbuildings and it does have something behind it that's green that they said they can't build on. I don't know what it is, so I'm not gonna agree to that. Anyway, it comes on the market Friday. It is in the pre-MLS.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, 465.
Then you have to be neighbors to my dad, so I don't recommend.
That hurts.
All right. All right. If you got more buyers, listings, and open houses you want to throw, yep, Stacy.
Buyers, I still have a full couple trying to get in Raymore under 300. We've lost out on a couple and they really want something with a basement, not a slab, so that's narrowing it down, but they're ready to go. Todd and I got them ready to go. And then a couple looking in Harrisonville under 375, they don't want any land or anything, just a 3.2. Some of the new builds that we looked at were kind of small, but they're open to new build or current. Not a ton of inventory in Harrisonville, so they're ready to go. She's a teacher in Harrisonville. We're hot to be looking.
Does it have to, the people up to 300, do they have to, has it be a ranch or can it be any floor plan?
It is, they don't want to complete split entry.
Okay, got it.
So that narrows it down as well. So that's what they'll buy.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it works. I don't want to split entry. That's what they buy. Yes, Josh.
Under 225 in Harrisonville, not a turd. Other than that, we're pretty open. Not a turd. It's been the text I got this morning.
Okay. So he has
Sometimes
clients
you get people that just want a turd, right? We're looking for a turd.
Sometimes you do.
Oh my gosh. All right. I haven't heard the word turd so many times since I was taught 3rd grade. I mean. All right. You're welcome. All right. Moving on. Let's see. Let's hear from our broker. Go for it.
Yay. Wow. They must know there's an audit coming because you got a lot of applause there.
We love Darren.
Yeah.
Butter up the auditor.
Mhm.
So the audit meeting is gonna be mostly Q&A, so bring your questions. You know, tell me what your thoughts are on that. I wanted to bring up, when you're putting a house in the MLS, you've got the option to have AI describe your pictures, and that can go horribly wrong. So don't. Nanette had one that went in as a 2-story and it's a split. One of the pictures described it as a 2-story, one was a split. One said it had dormers, not a dormer on it. So if that stuff populates and it's wrong, it's your license. You're the one responsible for everything that gets done, whether it's you or AI. Last thing is, if you have to change a listing or a buyer agency, don't change it and erase the signatures and make the seller sign again, because you might have a listing in the MLS that was listed August 1st, but then they go back today and sign it. You've now advertised a property that you didn't have a listing on. At least that's how it's going to look. So just use a change form. Use a change form for almost everything. If I send you an email when I'm signing something, or you get something from compliance, change form is the way to go. That way you've got signatures and you don't screw up your dates. That's it. You got to hold the button or something.
What's that?
Oh, well, this was my AI. I forgot I sent those in. So when you're putting the pictures in, that's,
Okay.
you've got the option. I think the next screen, auto generate, sounds great, but that sucks. So you can go through and do your own descriptions, which would be better.
Better.
Much better.
Much better.
Not a turd.
Not a turd. Thank you. All right.
Hey, Darren, to rehash last week, because we have no less than a dozen different transaction coordinators that our agents use. How many days do people have to get their listings in, their buyer agency contracts and their contracts to the office?
MREC says immediately. KW says one day, 3 days, 3 days.
Yep. Okay.
One is preferred, especially now, because the auditor is going to want to see everything up to date when he walks in the door and spends 2 weeks in the conference room.
Guys, we're a 9 out of 10 on almost everything we do. We're a 4 out of 10 in that. And I have no idea why. And I don't know how we got there, but it's got to get fixed. And if you point towards your transaction coordinator, go ahead and do this. Point right back to you. Because yes, that's your transaction coordinator, but it's on you to work with the transaction coordinator. And if you are your own transaction coordinator, then obviously it's on you. So we've got to fix that. There are no exceptions. We've been very lax in that department. And I think we will see very quickly that will have to change. So, yeah, I don't want to point anybody out. We're guilty of it sometimes as we get rocking and rolling and like, oh crap. So it can happen, but this stuff of, hey, I'll let the office know once it clears inspections or appraisals or whatever excuses we hear, that doesn't follow any of the guidelines that are set forth. Okay. So get with Darren. He'll explain that to you. And we're going to have a little auditor in there that's probably going to tell us exactly why that's important to us.
Here we go.
Yep.
All right. Well, I wanted to rehash something that I kind of spoke on yesterday. So 4 of you already know what this was about, but I'm going to do the speedy version. So objection handling. And we did a class on this yesterday, and it was I thought pretty helpful. I mean, I taught the class, so I thought it was pretty helpful. I got a lot out of it first before I, got to present it. Jake helped me, appreciate that. And Tony helped, and yeah, that's an objection, right? So and objections come to us in all kinds of different ways. And it's not like the courtroom where they go, objection, they don't pronounce that it's an objection. You kind of have to spot it. And so let's do this. Wrong answers only, Jake. You're good at this. Wrong, Josh is good at this.
Oh, no.
Ian's good at this. Wrong answers only. Here's the objection. We already know another realtor.
They suck.
Well, they suck. Okay, that's a wrong answer. Wrong. Anybody can play. Well, you should go with them then. Is it Jenny?
Probably cheaper than I am.
They're probably cheaper than I am. Okay. Wrong answers only. Well, we want to sleep on it.
Go over. Go over, turn the light off, and then lay your head down on their bed.
There you go. Just lay down on the table. Sleep on it. Let's get
What
that
time
over.
will you get up?
What time will you get up? There we go. Right. So these are not maybe how we want to respond to that. Let's look at that. Let's get better at this because objections are going to be a part of your conversations. You've already seen them. It doesn't matter if you've been in this for a month. You've already come across some client objections of different kinds. And the longer you're in this business, the more objections you're going to see. And it's going to be really important to know how to overcome them. And have you ever known exactly what to say about 20 minutes later after you needed to say it? Anybody else?
Yeah. He's always on top of that. I know.
You get in the car and you drive away and you're like, dang it. I put my foot in my mouth. I said the wrong thing. I said too much. I should have just be quiet, right? A lot of times that's me.
By the way, the same objections come up over and over
They
again.
do.
So once you kind of get comfortable on your feet with these objections, whether they're commission objections, deferring their decisions, whatever that is, you kind of just get where it comes out naturally if you'll work on it a little bit.
Absolutely. So it's just part of the conversation. So conversations are needed to have these clients, to have transactions, to have closings, to have appointments. All the things involve conversations, and objections are going to come to you from your clients, the other agent, the lender, the title. That their objections are coming at us, and the way we know how to pivot and to get through the objection is going to be really important. And just hear this: objections. If you're holding open houses, I think that's the highest percentage of getting objections is at an open house. When you don't know these people that are walking through the door, they don't know you, and so let's brush up on that, because objections don't necessarily mean no. If someone gives you an objection, I already know another realtor. I'm not ready to sign. I'm not ready to get pre-approved. Whatever the objection is, that doesn't mean no, right? So hear that. It usually means that they have another question or they need some more information. So that's what, usually there's an objection. It means they need something. It's rarely what they told you. You have to do some digging to see what are they really saying. There's more information that they need. And the only way we know how to do that is by getting curious about asking questions. And so, tell me more about that. If they say, well, we want to wait till spring. Okay, don't just assume you know why. I think a lot of us are good at assuming we know why. They want to wait till spring. They want to wait till school's out, I bet. Well, that may not be it at all, but it's get curious about it. They could say something like, well, that's when in the spring is when I'll have 20% saved up so I can afford the down payment. So if I just would assumed it had something to do with the school district and the school calendar, I would have missed that there's actually a path forward. Maybe they don't need 20% down, right?
Or they say spring because, well, everything I read online says spring is when it's the busiest time of year and I want my house to do really, really well,
There we go.
right? So then we pivot into the conversation that actually houses sell every month, all year round. And sometimes the times of year where it's not as busy can be the best months to be on the market because there's less competition.
But we don't know that if we don't ask a few questions.
Got to peel back the layers, right?
Ask me or tell me more. Why is that important to you? We need to learn to ask more questions. Here's another thing. When you hear an objection, you don't want to win the argument and lose the client. When they sit down and you're sitting at the table and they say, well, Zillow says my house is worth more. Your answer is not to be, well, Zillow's never seen your house. That's a snarky, Zillow doesn't live there. Are you right? Yeah, you're right. And you might win the argument, but now you've just put the client on defense. You've just put them in a place where they have to defend their answer and what they think and what they understand. And that's not what we want to do, right? We don't want to approach objections that way. So that's not a good idea. Another thing we need to do when we hear an objection, let's slow down. Just practice the pause. Sometimes when we hear an objection and they push back on us in some way, we start explaining. We start defending, we start talking, we start word vomiting all over them. And here's the thing, guys, if we didn't take time to ask and slow down, ask the questions, why is that important to you? Tell me more about that. Then it's very possible we're answering a question that they're not asking. And we now are irrelevant to them. Have you ever done that where you go ask somebody a question and they cut you off? They start answering because they think they know what you're asking, and you just sit there going, okay, this person obviously doesn't get it. I already know what you're saying. That's not what I was asking. So slow down, pause, because the best objection handlers are the ones that ask great questions and are great listeners. Okay? So that's how we're going to overcome these objections. Objections actually become scary. Scart. I was like, does that say SCART? Sure does. Scary. Objections become scary when you're unprepared. And if you are not prepared by handling objections and practicing that, then you're going to be unprepared. And that's when you're going to start rambling, talking, get nervous. Your heart rate goes up. You start to sweat a little bit, and you hope you can make it through this. You might get a little SCART in the process, but practice. Championship teams don't practice new plays the night before the big game. They've practiced all year long. It's become second nature. And so practice your objection handling, and you don't need 100 different scripts like Lonnie mentioned. There's a lot of similar ones that come up over and over again. You don't need to know 100 different objection handlers. You really need to know your top 10, because a lot of the common ones come up all the time, some variation of it. And then have a simple framework when you're handling these objections. Here's what you need to do. You need to listen. Don't formulate your comeback while they're still talking. Just take time to listen. Then you're going to acknowledge, oh, I can understand that. Zillow says my house is worth this much, or I want to interview other agents. Show some empathy. Yeah, I can understand what, I can understand that. And then you can question, tell me more about that. Why is that important to you? Those two questions right there are really great. Why is that important to you? Tell me more about that. Then you can respond only after you understand the real concern. Then you can offer solutions. Then you're relevant. Then you've shown empathy. Then you've listened to them. You've heard them out. People want to be heard. And in this process, we do this all the time. So we're running and gunning. We're in and out. We're on to this one because we got 2 more lined up. Okay. People don't want that. They want to know that you've heard them, that you've sat with them, and that's going to bring down their walls too. And maybe the objections also kind of go away a little bit the more trust you've built. Your income is hiding behind the conversations that you're currently uncomfortable having. If I would rather you practice this stuff in this classroom or in your own time, go over some flashcards, which I'm going to show you here in just a second. Practice this before you're sitting at a table across from a $12,000 commission check. That's not the time we want to be figuring it out. And then, so I did find, I thought these were cool. I found these real estate objection flashcards off of Amazon. And I was a little cautious because I'm like, stuff is kind of cheesy sometimes. So I bought one, and they're $20, $21. And then they have all these different flashcards for different scenarios, different topics. There's seller, buyer, pricing, all kinds of objections. But I pulled a couple here to show you. What about this one? Have you ever gone to a listing appointment? They say, well, my home is special, so I think my house is worth more. Our house is nicer than that guy's, and that guy's, it's bigger. We've all heard that. That's an objection. It may say it like that, or they may say something like, well, but I've added expensive upgrades. Or this is the different variations that this same objection can sound like. Well, the buyers should be willing to pay for quality. Or I have a much better view than the neighbors do. Who knows what they're going to say, right? They believe their house is better. Well, the logic behind it is that they're proud of the upgrades and the care that they've put into their house. And they want the list price to reflect that effort. They also worry that pricing it at the comps means that they're leaving money behind. Okay, so they might tell you my house is better, I want to price it higher, but really this is kind of probably what's going on. Well, here's how there's 3 options. It gives you 3 options of what to say. Tell me what you think. Well, I totally hear you. When someone walks in, what are the first 2 to 3 things that they'll go wow over? Is it the kitchen, the layout, the view? Let's make sure we're pricing those wins. So that's one answer. Another answer could be, wow, you've really put real money into this and it shows. Good job. The only thing I don't want is I don't want to be baking into every receipt into the price, because buyers don't refund upgrades dollar for dollar. Just educating them. But you've complimented them, you've told them you've heard them, and then you educate. And then this last one here, you could say, if you want to start a bit above comps, I'm open to it. Let's agree on a quick check. If we're getting strong showings and real interest, great, we're going to hold. But if not, then we're going to make some tweaks before it drags on too long. Okay? So these are some objections right here on this card. The last thing, it says why this works, because it depersonalizes it. It shifts the conversation from defending the home to predicting the buyer's choices. So it takes it away, it switches it for them. It depersonalizes it. And then last thing, a measured test. It's a clear checkpoint that turns pricing into evidence, not a prolonged argument. You don't want to have this argument again when you need the price drop, and again, because they're going to say, hey, my house is better. My house is better. We got to find a way to overcome the objection, depersonalize it, because it's very personal to them. It's not personal for us, right? So we have to depersonalize it for them and diffuse that so that we can move past that, or otherwise it's going to be an ongoing argument.
And teamify everything. Just continue to teamify the whole way. Hey, you do have some special things with your house.
Yep.
And although the data tells me 350, I understand you want 360 or 365. Let's, as a team, let's go out there and introduce ourselves to the market at your price. And let's see if there is someone that's in agreement with your findings. And if not, we'll pivot and have this meeting. But let's be patient, because we're going down a path a little bit above the market to find that person that can really appreciate what you've put into the house. Then when it doesn't work, which more often than not it doesn't, you refer back to, I'm really glad we did what you wanted to do. Now the market's kind of spoken. It's probably time for us to make an adjustment to get a little closer to where the data was leading us in the first place.
Right.
But this is, it's all just, I'm going to get ready to talk about skills-based market.
Okay.
This is all about the skills-based market.
That's what, I was going to wrap that up with saying, and I'll let you dive deep there, that this is the skills we need to be great agents. We've got to build the skills to succeed in this market.
Yep.
So I won't say anymore since you're going to hit that. Yeah. Your turn.
Oh,
Mr. Lana Branson.
Okay, a couple things that are driving me nuts. Thursday 30, is that what we used to call it? Thursday 30 is the Thursday 17.
17.
But so I get to host the mastermind call, and this is a sign-up sheet. Oh. And 30 is the number. We will have 30 people there come hell or high water, or we're
driving to your house.
So here's what I'd like you to do. Sign up for the call on Thursday, and then go to your calendar, put it on there so you don't set up an inspection or any of that. And then you can do this thing on the calendar called reoccurring event. Is that still an option?
Yep.
Okay, I thought it might be, because if I can figure it out, you guys can. And then we need to have 30 people on there every week, okay? And I'm not gritching and moaning, but I'm sick and tired of taking one-on-one meetings, solving problems that if people were on that call, they would already know the frickin' answer, okay? It's exhausting. You can sit there in your jammies, participate. We want you to participate, but please just get on the call. You never know. We're going to really pivot now. This is a skills-based market. I'm getting ready to show you some stuff, but our people need to have best practices. They need to hear more and more value on that call. So we're really going to try to bring up at least 2 or 3 topics that are really current to what's going on in the market so we can get better. Okay. Do not put your name on this if you're not going to be on the call. And no judgment. If you're not going to be on the call, don't be on the call. But I need 30 people on the call, and then we need to start making it a reoccurring event for more of you guys. We just want you to be better. We want you to be stronger. We want you to win. Yes. And if we do these kind of things, then we'll be better. Okay, on the call last week, since we didn't have that many people, let me talk about this again. When your listing is going to expire, okay, you can handle it one of 2 ways. You can be a professional like Scott Swaggart, who crushes it, and one of our top individual agents. When he has something getting ready to expire, you think he's nervous about getting rehired? He's not nervous at all. In fact, he's really not going to have a conversation that's bumpy around it at all. It's going to be very matter of fact and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, we've been at this now. Look at trying to find you. Say it's a buyer side. Hey, our buyer agency went up through the end of the month. I know we're getting ready to go out and start looking at houses. Next time we get together, I'll have the document just so we can renew it. It's never expiring. It's renewal. Get rid of the word expiring and go with renewal. You guys get that? If you have a seller, I never talk about expiring. I have all these lots in Harrisville. They're getting ready to expire for the 19th time, right? I've been doing it for 2.5 years. There's no, hey, my listings are going to expire. Will you still want to go forward with me? It's matter of fact, hey, by the way, I'm going to be sending you the renewals on all of our lots. Is there a big difference there? Yeah. I'm not looking to get into a debate or a conversation, right? Now, if they all of a sudden hit the brakes, then we got to go down that path. But you guys are getting all unnerved about getting rehired for sellers and buyers. I heard one the other day with Nanette, and we had a long conversation around that. Our expectation is to get rehired. You guys get that? Does anybody ever find that a little bumpy with expirations? Who's had a buyer agency expire? Nobody? Okay. Is it weird to get it No, it shouldn't be. I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Sometimes it's good. I like it.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, if say, for example, you signed a 90-day buyer agency and they've looked at houses but just haven't found the right one, you've done your job. Okay. It's very matter of fact. They say, hey, I just noticed August 15th is the end of our buyer agency agreement. I know we're going to get out all throughout the month of August, so I'll go ahead and send you the renewal now versus wait. Okay. Boom. Conversation should be over right there. Okay. And if it's not, then think about how you're delivering it, because chances are it's with your delivery. Now, if you're in a bumpy one, say you have a seller, you've been butting heads the whole way, and here comes the end of the period, just carte blanche renewal, you better have a better conversation around that. You guys get that? For me, that's the hardest part, is when you have a seller that maybe you're not totally in alignment with. Has anybody had any of those? Have any of those right now? Okay. Sometimes it's breaking up isn't such a bad thing. By the way, I went on an interview. I didn't know I was even interviewing on a listing last week. It was hot as you know what. And basically the guy, he didn't speak great English, but he convinced me, he had talked to 15 agents, I guess, that he knew more about real estate than I did. So finally I was hot and sweaty, and I'm like, why am I here, dude? You know, that kind of thing. And he's just like, well, you know, your numbers and all this kind of stuff. Sorry, that shouldn't have used any accent there. But nonetheless, that's bad. Sorry, anybody listening at home, please don't call the real estate police. But anyway, so I just listen. Finally, I just kind of went up and I was sweating and everything, and I just put my hand out. And he's like, puts his hand out. He goes, what's going on? I go, I don't think we're a good fit. I go, it sounds like you've talked to a lot of agents. There's going to be one of those that's going to be a better fit for you. Thank you. We're done, right? I was hot and went and got an iced coffee. It was wonderful. I'm not sure I was going to get hired anyway, and I was hot, so I was done. So expired in renewal. Nanette is now the expert at this, because I had a chance to listen in on she just gave, thank you. But I heard her conversation. She's been at this a while. She's worked with hundreds of buyers. Huh? Good thing I did, because if we got somebody that's been 10 years in the business and they struggle with it, I'm guessing there's a few other of you guys that stink. Right? Okay, so let's get better. But always think of it that way. And by the way, if you have an expiration of a buyer agency, or certainly your seller, do not wait till the day before to start having the conversation. We tee this up way before we get there. You guys get that? It's just, it's a smart way to do that. Any questions on that? Buyer agency, do not show a house unless we have the proper documentation. Remember that law that went into effect? Is law the right word? I don't know if that's the right word. People are violating that, okay? I know they're violating it because they're showing my listings, and I can tell that they don't have agreements set up. That'll work until it doesn't. And so your policy is to follow the law. Be sure you're doing that, okay? Guys, if you just have the right conversation and right delivery, you won't have really any issue around that. Third topic, if there's any temptation to show houses to people that are not pre-approved, okay, I'm getting people showing my houses. And then when I follow up to say, how did the showing go and all that, it's like, well, you know, they kind of like this, so they're going to go get with a lender this week. That tells me you ran my seller out of the house for 45 minutes, set the appointment, ran my seller out with people you don't even know if they can buy it. Pro time? No, that's crap. Right? Okay, so if you guys are doing that, stop immediately. So here's the one line that you have to master, and you'll never have a problem with it again, I can assure you. Is we have a rule, all the professionals in our industry have a rule that says we find our money before we find our house. If you can just write that down, put it on your forehead, whatever, if you'll just say that, you'll almost find zero objection, okay? And if they say, well, what do you mean find my money before that? Well, here's the thing, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson. If I show you this house and you fall in love with it, there's nothing you can do about it. That's the most frustrating thing I've ever seen in my career. So we find our money before we find our house. Your time is valuable. My time is valuable. The professionals in our industry do not show houses and run people out of their house unless they know the people have the ability to buy. Okay. Doesn't mean you're going to like the house. I'm not worried about that, but let's find out where we stand. And that'll be real important to you. Okay. Really important. So is anybody does anybody ask them to look at houses before they get pre-approved? I don't work with buyers, but yeah.
They just showing the wife the house, my listing, and then the next day, the husband calls me to look at the same house. And then when we walked outside, he said, well, I want you to write an offer. And I go, well, what about your wife? And he goes, well, she saw it already yesterday, because I thought she was. And I go, oh, how we have been doing? And I said, so you're under a buyer agency agreement? He said, no, we haven't signed anything. So I called that agent and I told him I could write the offer and take a commission, but I'm gonna let you have it.
Wow. I like that. Yep.
I showed one to some, occasionally I'll show them something that's not pre-approved, but only if it's a sign call on a vacant listing. I'm not taking somebody out of the house, but just because I want to get them in person.
Yeah.
Before I figure that out, ever.
It's your business. You get to set the rules of what you want to do with your time. But if you think, hey, this isn't damaging the seller in any way, I have a chance to meet somebody and see if we could possibly get into a relationship, then you're saying I'm willing to commit a certain amount of my time for that effort. I think that's okay. But if you do that on my listing, or my 2.2 children and 1.1 dogs all have to leave the house for you to traipse through this person that you don't know from Adam, I got a problem with that. I'm not sure that's what we're supposed to be doing. Okay. Hard, fast rules. Are there some that say you cannot show a house that is not pre-approved? I don't think that's enforceable. I really don't. You see that all the time. Pre-approved buyers only and all that kind of stuff. I think that's really hard to enforce. But you guys, we get to decide if we're going to run this business like professionals or not. And just because people at XYZ and all these different companies are doing it one way does not mean that's what we're going to do. All right, let's talk about the skills-based market. This came up in my meeting in Colorado Springs with these guys too. What's happening in your industry right now is not super exciting because Todd, where's Todd? Rates suck. It's your fault. Okay? Yeah. Oh. So here's what's happened. 3 years ago, let's just say for every 100 sales 3 years ago, the top, we'll just say our capper and aboves, because we're in KW. Is that cool? 50, we'll just say half those sales would come from capper and above type agents 3 years ago. You guys got it? Then the market became a little more challenging, and now maybe 60%. I don't know how to do 60%, but 60% now comes from capper and above. Your market right now has pivoted even more, that maybe 75% of those 100 sales come from capper and above. That is a transition into a skills-based market like we've never seen. We're right now in the most skills-based, other than when we were only doing short sales and foreclosures, because when the market got nasty in 2008 to 2011, if you didn't know how to do those, you weren't making a living. I mean, it was almost impossible to make a living. So it took us a while to realize that, because we thought it was just temporary. So I'm like, I'm not going to learn how to do short sales or any of that stuff. But we pivoted really quickly and we realized it was here to stay. So we're now in the most skills-based market I've seen in my career, which just means the people that have more talent are getting a larger share of the same number of sales. Okay. So there's 4 million sales nationally, and let's just say it's going to be 4 million again, but the group that's more talented in that group or more experienced are getting a higher and higher percentage of that, okay? Which means the people that maybe lack the skills are getting squeezed, okay? That's going to continue for probably a little while longer, okay? So when Brandy has a class, what was your class you did yesterday? Oh, objection handling. Yeah. The biggest differentiator of experienced people and inexperienced people is probably objection handling. So now we probably could have given you guys a little more notice, but we're going to be working on this objection handling. So if you go on a listing appointment and Carrie goes on a listing appointment and they hit it off really good, and then all of a sudden the people go, well, Carrie, we really like you, but we're really thinking about hiring Bob Gresham. We saw that they sell 100 houses a year and you're really cool, but you only sell X and all that kind of stuff. She's got to already have that bullet, that gun in her holster ready to combat that kind of thing. We've taught you guys for years how to beat the high producing teams. Okay. Well, I'm considering hiring Rob Ellerman. Rob Ellerman's not coming in your kitchen. Okay. He's number 5 in the country or whatever, not coming in the kitchen. So you're going to get an underling's underling. Okay. If you're okay with that, hire Rob Ellerman. Okay. If you want a good agent, call Scott Swaggart. He'll actually come into your kitchen and he's a top agent. So we've got to have skill to be able to overcome those objections, or those $12,000 checks will just evaporate right in front of your face. Okay. You, again, as Brandy said, you can try to wing it at the kitchen table, or you can go in knowing these objection handling techniques and you'll win more often than not. What objections do you guys hear out there that you're getting constantly? What's a common one?
Wait for the market to crash.
Okay. What's another one? What?
Interest rates are too high.
Oh, so on the buyer side, interest rates are too high. Okay. Well, where are rates going to be next year? So you're waiting for them to go down. Okay. Well, we've been waiting for 3 years. Okay. And let me tell you how that's worked in the 3 years that we've been waiting for them to go down. Our average buyer buys a $300,000 house. And because values have went up approximately 5% a year, he's losing $15,000 approximately each year. So we'll just go 15, 15, 15. His $300,000 house is now a $345,000 house, but he did wait for rates to go down. Okay. If you can't figure out the math on this, guys, ask yourself why. Okay. This is high level math, right? Todd, 5% of 300, that kind of stuff, big numbers, right? But we've got to be able to explain to people the cost of waiting. That's really the analysis the path you just took me down. With buyers, anybody that's waiting for rates to go down. Now, if they could tell me for sure that rates were going to go, what are rates right now? 6 something? Upper 6s to low 5s in 12 months. Now I have something concrete and I can do the math on that and figure out if that's a good decision or not. But I don't think anybody can tell me where rates are going to be a year from now. Okay. Do we think they might be lower? Yes. But we've been saying that for 2 years. I wish Paul Fife was here because he still makes fun of me. Because I've been telling everybody that they're going to go down faster than they have, and that's on Todd. So $45,000 it cost that guy to sit in his parents' basement for 3 more years to wait for rates to go down. Okay.
To rent or whatever's going on, to sit on the sidelines, right? Yep.
By the way, if he takes out the mortgage at Todd's crummy 6.75, if the rates did smoke down to 5.5, guess what you could do? Simple refi. Okay. Just refinance it. Okay. As long as you're making your payment, you can refi anymore, right, Todd? Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of VA, it's really easy. FHA, it's really easy. That sort of thing. So cost of waiting analysis. What other objections do you guys get? Think seller side. Give me one on the seller side.
3%.
What's that?
3%.
What about
Commission.
3%?
Got it.
A commission.
Oh,
Some
okay.
also do 2%.
Okay, yeah. Anybody ever had that come up? Yeah. I go into that assuming that people are already thinking that. By the way, very seldom do I ever have a commission conversation because I go in and I tell them the rules at which I play ball in. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, all my listings are on 6-month agreements. I charge 3% to the seller. I'm going to prepare you in today's market that you likely will get an offer on your house that's going to ask us to do the same for the buyer's agent. What's that mean, LB? Basically, we now have commissions that have been separated. I have a commission for the listing broker, and most likely we're going to get an offer that's going to ask us to pay the buyer's broker. And what I've seen of hundreds and hundreds of transactions in the last 2 years through our office is almost every offer I see is asking us to pay 3% to the buy side. By the way, it's easier for me to get 3% on the sell side when I explain to them that's what the buyer side is probably going to ask for. Then I'm asking for what the buyer's agent. You guys get that?
Yeah.
Okay. It's just, but sometimes I'll say 2.5% to 3% is what I see, but almost always 3%. So when I do all my illustrations for you, it's always going to show 3% to a buyer's agent. If it comes in less, we'll talk about it. You guys get that?
Yeah.
Okay. So do your net sheet based on that. Put an asterisk by it. You can put 2.5 to 3, but use the 3 number in your, because you've talked about it. You guys get that? No? I'm getting weird looks.
To pay that 3% to the buyers.
Okay, cool. You don't have to. I don't know that we'll ever get a contract on your house. So is moving your priority, or are we worried about the 3% to the buyer? We just looked at, Jake, we just looked at 10 data points in Creekmore where you live. And of those 10 sales, we've determined your house is probably around 500 grand. I think we're on the same page, right? Yeah, 500 grand. Guess what happened in every one of those sales, almost with no exception? the sellers paid 2.5% to 3% to a buyer's agent. So why would yours be any different? And by the way, if you don't, they go down here and look at the new houses. Those builders are willing to pay 3% to the buyer's agent. That's a big part of your competition in your subdivision. So do you want to be hamstrung with being the guy that's not going to compensate buyer's agents? And by the way, if the people love it so much, then they'll pay their buyer's agent directly, right? That never happens. I've seen it a handful of times in my entire career. You've got to be able to just be comfortable with that conversation. Okay. It's your money too. Charge what you guys want. I mean, it's up to you, but I can't tell you how many times the first answer is to reduce your commission. Okay. And the first time there's a problem with the house or we got to solve repair items, we're wanting to do commission-dectomies. I heard one yesterday about vomited. I was like, what are you doing? You don't have to offer up commission. Let's pivot and take a different path. That's the last resort. Yes.
Do you point out that you're probably gonna do the same thing when they go to buy? So they're gonna, that 3% is gonna balance out, because then when they go to buy their next house.
Perfect. I like that.
Do you point that out?
No, but that's a great, and by the way, when I represent you, when we go out looking, we're gonna be doing the same thing. We're gonna be asking the seller and we expect them to pay and get compensated at that 3%. That's what this thing's gonna look like. But you have to also get back to that original conversation. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, up until 2 years ago, it was really easy. If I listed your house at 6%, that was probably the most common commission structure in the marketplace. It displayed 3 and 3 in the MLS, which just means 3 went to me, 3 was gonna go to the broker on the other side, and it was hunky-dory and until it wasn't. And now they've just, what's the term I always use where they split that?
Decoupling.
Decoupling. Thank you. I forgot that one. 60 years old. They've decoupled commissions, but we're back to the same number. It's just different. Now I have in my listing agreement what we're paying this broker, and now we have to just wait and see. But I'm a professional. I'm going to prepare you to pay 2.5% to 3% for a buyer's agent to get fair market value in today's market. Okay? And they're like, well, I thought this whole thing was supposed to save people money. Yeah, everybody thought that. But we're back to doing business exactly the same way. Personally, and this is what I always tell them, I go, I actually like this. It's really transparent, and it's how I always did things before. I always told people, hey, here's what we make, and here's what they make, and all that. Now you must separate the two, but you are getting back to the same number. Todd.
You know, in the last couple hundred transactions of mine, I've had one buyer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it stuck out to me because I read it and went, oh shit, they're paying the commission. And
Swear jar.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sure. Anyway, out of 250 or so.
Yeah. So it's pretty rare. I mean, and we can't spend a lot of time with the one-offs like that. I mean, what if, you can do what ifs all day long. Somebody else had their hand up on this?
Well, what about, I don't want to make any repairs, because I really don't need to sell. Like I can just wait. I don't really need to sell. We heard that. Like I'm like, okay, then why do we put your house on the market?
Then you're in a motivation.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have enough motivation for you to ever get paid? Then you have to decide, is this a path I want to go down and invest my time? Every listing you take has some kind of percentage chance of you getting paid. Okay, go list a house for $350,000 in Raymore right now. That's cute, split entry, nicely updated, all that. Your chances of getting paid are in the upper 90 percentile. Would you guys agree? Okay. Trust me,
yes.
It is. Go list, get excited to get a $1.5 million house. It's a freak show out in Cleveland, Missouri. Your chance of getting paid because it's so unique and the luxury price range might be 20 or 30% chance, okay? Every listing has a probability of you getting paid. You have to decide, is that probability worth your time? That's what I would tell everyone. I personally won't take a listing if I think there's an extremely low chance I'm ever getting paid, unless that listing has the ability to create a lot of leads for us. And then we'll look at it a little bit differently. But we'll have a very honest conversation with the people of, hey, guys, you have a needle in a haystack. This could be one of those houses that we have. Finding a needle in a haystack buyer is not that easy. So you just have to prepare them for that. You always want to be honest with them. Don't say, this thing's going to go in 30 days, knowing it's got no chance. That's bumpy. What else? Any other yes, Lisa.
Can you go over how to handle the objection when the seller's agent wants you as the buyer's agent to reduce your commission in order to get the sale?
Yeah. Has that happened? Is that happening pretty much?
Yeah. Yep.
God,
I've had it just happen. Yeah, I've never had it more than that. Telling us to only do 2.5%.
Yeah.
Usually it's like, I'm taking a 0.5% off mine, will you do the same? Is how it's been phrased.
Usually it's because the buyer, that listing agent didn't have this conversation.
Yeah.
They didn't prep their seller. So now it becomes our problem.
That's exactly right. They went in saying, hey, it's all negotiable, we'll wheel and deal and all that kind of stuff. So basically when I present the offer, have we ever had anybody come back and ask us for something? Yeah, I guess maybe once or twice. Not very often, where they're wanting to reduce our commission. By the way, as a listing agent, handles a lot of listings. Let me think about it. No, I've never went back and said one time, okay, we're countering you at 2.5 instead of 3. Okay, I don't know that I've ever done that. So if people are doing that regularly, so here, what I would say, and I don't work with buyers, but nonetheless, what I would probably say is, hey, here's the deal. This is right now our number one choice. We've just made you an offer. My buyer is paying the brokerage 3% one way or another, and they are not willing to pay any differential. So if you're going to counter us back at 2 or 2.5, then this is a buyer that now has to cough up the rest of that money out of their pocket. That's going to make your house and this transaction look far less appealing. So counter us back the way we submitted the offer, and then we'll start working the numbers from there. That's how I would do it. Thoughts? Would you guys do it differently? I'm game. I don't ever have this conversation. Teach me. Is there a better way?
No.
Huh? Just say no.
I think to get it when it's like an investor flip, because I think they do multiple for them. So they're like, here's my agreement.
Yeah. Just go, be really direct and say, hey, if maybe they'll call you sometimes and go, well, would you be willing to work on that? Here's the deal. We love this property. It's not the only property on the market. My people are in an agreement with the brokerage of paying X amount of percent. That's why we submitted it that way. I really don't see them as a person that's going to pay any of this commission out of their pocket. And honestly, nor should they. Every property that I'm handling currently, and I watch through my office, nearly every one of them, the sellers are compensating us back at what we're requesting, which most commonly is 3%. So just make it matter of fact. Say, you want to counter us back, counter us back. I would suggest if you want us to go to contract or give a high probability of us going to contract, let's keep that number the same. Okay? Is that cool? I don't know. That's what I would expect somebody to do. A professional agent, if I tried to do that to them, that's what I would expect them to come back at us with. By the way, this crap of, well, higher end houses, that's not so much. No, we got a 3% one going right now, 1.3 million. Okay, we're paying the buyer's agent 3% at 1.3 million. My community out there, they have some beautiful homes. 3% more often than not is what the builders are paying, and most of the resale houses. So that's not necessarily true. Just because a house is expensive, the commissions go down. It's bull crap.
Jacob has a really good response when they want, what you say when they want to cut back negotiating.
On the commission?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, always, whenever you're going up against somebody that'll do 2%, and they're like, well, Jenny will do 2%. I said, oh, well, they're big part of my job is negotiating contracts for you, and they're showing their job as a negotiator by negotiating. I can't do it for 50 people.
Yeah.
I said they gave up a third of their commission really quick. I wonder how hard they're going to negotiate for you.
Mr. and Mrs. Jones, you have a $300,000 house. I charge this. I'm sorry, that's $9,000, but I think my office's numbers, my numbers justify that's what we should get paid. And I understand Jenny's out there at 2%. She just gave away $3,000 of her money. How fast would she give away $3,000 of your money? That works over and over and over again. And it does make you think. And by the way, this is just one part of the negotiation. We have the contract negotiation. We want a good negotiator. You said negotiate. I like that a lot. Oh, by the way, do we ever have to negotiate inspection items? Do we ever have possible appraisal issues? All the things that could come up. But, the initial contract and the inspection were two massive parts of negotiation. And Jenny just said she stinks at both. That's what I heard from her. Okay, that's just what I heard. All right, where I'm going with this, and I hope some people signed up for our call. We're gonna go a little 24. Oh, good. 24. We only need 6 more to have the call.
So we're not dismissed.
But we're going to try to get into a little bit more meat and potatoes, where we're talking about real life stuff that you guys are dealing with. We want to have warm and fuzzies, don't get me wrong. But each person that hosts it, we're going to try to be a little bit more intentional about getting into some of the things that make the skills-based market, I just want to raise everybody's skill level a little bit.
Yeah.
Is that cool?
I think that's what we need.
Yeah,
to do.
and just because I'm hosting it this week, and I am protective of my time. Well, by the way, I'm on there every Thursday unless I'm out of town, and I was out of town last week. So it is part of my business, the way I run this team meeting. If I'm in town, I'm at this thing too. Those are the 2 appointments. I don't let inspectors. I don't do any showings. I don't do any of those seller meetings during those 2 appointment times. If you can run your business the same way, then we'll be hearing the same thing together, and I think that'll be valuable. We went way over on time. Sorry about that.
That's all right. I thought it was good stuff.
All right,
All right, guys.
Hey, guys, go sell something.
Go sell something.
Yeah.
Good work.
Okay, so I heard that tabletops are being reordered. Right?
They're already, yes,
Okay.
and then they're like 2 weeks out.
You guys got good stuff going on?
At least
Anything?
they're in process.
I know. I think I've been commenting on different
Well,
things.
it was like, well, we haven't paid anything for them. Like, you know.
I tell you what, interesting.
So.
It has to do with.
We get a box one, you know, everybody's been talking about all the time, last night, and this amount.
They have, certain,
Matt.
I have an interesting.
like the wood,
It's
it's called solid, like it's the entire same